This is the Five for Fighting podcast.
This is the Five for Fighting podcast.
Fantasy hockey, breaking down the lines. Matchups, injuries, hot takes, and trades. No clickbait noise, no overplayed clips. If there's an edge to find, we already checked.
Parlays, we got them for days. Five for Fighting. News updates, insight, and stays. Five for Fighting.
Read the ice.
Everybody, and welcome back to the Five for Fighting podcast, episode 6. Today, we're going to break down the Hughes trade, the Skinner and Jarry trade. We're going to talk about Olympic Finland team projections. We're going to get into some fantasy talk, some betting talk. And yeah, stick around for all that. But first, a message from our sponsors. Check out benchminercards.com. Go get yourself some hockey cards for the holiday season. Some good stuff on there. Use the code 5FORFIGHTING and you'll save yourself 10% right out of the gate. All right. How's everyone doing? Welcome back, boys.
Yeah, welcome
doing well.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. It's been a pretty hectic week, I think, for majority of us. It's come back from vacation last week and then had some personal family matters, and it's just one thing after another, then work, and then on top of it, the following week, this week coming up is the holiday. So it's been a rough couple weeks, and good week. I mean, like I said, the trip was good. The kids enjoyed it. We went to Disney and a cruise and all that, so the kids get to enjoy that. And then, like I said, came back to reality and negative 60-degree weather.
Yeah, you did the full spectrum there, Zach. It's been a roller coaster, to say the least.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, like Ryan said there, it's been very cold here in Alberta the last 2 or 3 weeks, and hopefully here in Fort Mac coming up on the weekend, it's supposed to be very mild, like -1, -3.
Nice.
So hopefully we can enjoy some outdoor time because the kids have been crammed up this week. So
Yeah. How's things been going with you, Billard? What's new?
The East Coast looking like...
The East Coast is looking pretty rough, boys. It's been stormy and windy, and been working a lot of OT and keeping super busy. But I'm off now for Christmas and looking forward to the juniors starting up. But now, yeah, we had a lot of rain. All the snow is gone. It's blowing 100 kilometers plus every day. But can't complain, man. It's all good.
Yeah,
Go Canada.
we've got that similar here in Nova Scotia. Same thing. We had a big dump, and then this past week it all kind of purged out. But yeah, been a good week for me, and we've got our new stickers coming out. So first of a bit of teaser merch, but hopefully down the road we'll have a bit more of a line coming. But yeah, I got those sent in the mail to you guys yesterday, so keep an eye.
Thanks,
Love it.
man.
Can't wait.
One for the hard hat for work, for sure.
absolutely.
Ron, how are you making out down there, bud?
We're doing good. Nice and cold down here in Edmonton, Alberta, but I got 2 weeks off coming up over the holidays here, so...
Love it. Love the
Loving
holidays.
life. Oh, man. So happy.
Yeah.
The Christmas
No, I
party
just
tomorrow.
I had the family in this week now for a bit of early Christmas, and I was working and they were here, and it's been pretty hectic. But it's nice to have some family around and do some stuff.
For sure. Yeah, I'm lucky my mother's up here, so spend lots of time with the grandkids and the youngsters and all that stuff. So it's going to be good.
Awesome.
So over the weekend, we had a couple of major influencers get their heads pounded in. I just wanted to touch on that, not hockey related, but Jake Paul ended up with his jaw broken, and Andrew Tate got his head caved in as well. What do you guys
Nothing
think of
better.
those? No, I'm so happy about it.
Nothing better. When Joshua had that smile on his face before he landed the punch,
Man,
that right there was everything to me. I got nothing against Jake. He's a hell of an athlete. I mean, I got to give him the credit where credit's due. But at the same time, it was about time that he got his ass knocked out. And I mean, him and Joshua walked away with what, like $93 million each?
it was disgusting money.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I would even try to fight Joshua for $93 million. I'd even attempt a few punches, but I'm more than happy to get knocked out myself for $93 million.
And he got more. He got more than knocked out. Rushed to the hospital.
His
and
jaw
emergency surgery.
His jaw was broke.
He got his jaw broken.
But
I'll say
yeah.
this: I've spent more time than I should have watching Jake Paul fights, waiting for someone to fucking knock him out, like Mike Tyson. Expected Mike to knock
That's
him out. That fight irritated the shit out of me. And I said I'm never going to watch another Jake Paul fight after that because it pissed me off so much. But I'm glad to have woke up to highlights of him in the hospital with his jaw broken. So
yeah. So I missed it, but the same thing. I woke up to highlights.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
watch it either, but my only regret is I didn't put any money on it. I was looking at it and it's like, man, like I think that they're rigged and he'll probably win, but I'd love to bet against him, and I just stayed away from it. But
Was he
it was
favored
nice
to
to see
win?
him. No, he wasn't,
Yeah.
and I don't know
Drake
anything
hit
about
200K
boxing.
on
I
him.
just
But you should have known
on
then.
him. Yeah, right.
Yeah. My favorite
You
part
probably-
was hearing Joshua after the fact. One of his interviews was talking about he was kind of like wanted to get him by slow death. So he wanted to like really drag it out. And he's like, my favorite part in a fight is when you see the other guy's soul leave his body. And he's like, right before I hit him with that punch, and as I hit him with that punch, I seen that. I'm like, man, that is a
Well,
cold
and then
visual."
afterwards with the whole
Yeah.
neck slash, I was like, man, that's perfect. Nothing
But-
made me happier that day.
Kudos to Jake Paul, man. Like
Oh yeah.
all his other opponents, you had an angle. Anthony Joshua is the cream of the crop. He's been off for 15 months. So this was like a tune-up sparring match for him. But that right hand he got hit with, that is
Man.
probably the hardest right hand in the world. Or one of them.
The thing too that got me was one of the clips I watched was Logan Paul on the ringside to Joshua saying like, this is your legacy, you're gonna ruin it here tonight, this and that, and then went out there and just beat the shit out of his brother. Like,
Yeah.
it was great.
And that wasn't like pre-fight. That was, I think, in the middle of the 5th round. Or
Yeah.
like the after the 5th. So it was like
Yeah.
Logan chirped him, and Joshua was like, "Hey, no, done," and KO'd.
So yeah, to get back into the hockey world here, what we're kind of known for, let's start her off with Ron Burgundy and the news of the week.
Yeah, so a lot's happened over the past couple weeks. As you guys know, we do this every 2 weeks, so lots happened. But I'll just get to a few points. A big one is the NHL suspends Flyers announcer for inappropriate comment. I mean, we talked about it a bit off air before, and when you're in the mix, you're with your partner, and you've been there, you do everything you do, and like Devin said before we got on, if the hot mic didn't catch it, it wouldn't have been an issue. But I mean, with what he said, it's being on the air. The NHL took exception to it, suspended him, but we'll see how far it goes. And then Matthew Tkachuk is on track to join the Panthers, most likely after the new year. Buffalo is on a 6-game heater right now. Alex Lyons is, 5-game heater.
Yeah.
Alex Lyons, 5 straight wins. Tag Thompson is also, 6 straight games with a goal, 9 points in those 6 games. Hellebuck has returned against the Capitals on the 13th. And then big news that makes me happy as well is the Leafs are 5 losses in their last 7 games. I think something's had to change there. JT Miller is also out of the lineup, was suspected lower body injury, and Werninski is also deemed day-to-day after taking a block shot against the Ducks last night.
Tough to see too. He just tied Makar with 40 points for most D-man.
He did,
Yeah.
and he was on track for a Norris winning season again. And
Yeah, man,
it's a
he's
tough
so
loss.
valuable to Columbus. He carries their whole offensive and defensive play. He's no, it's
a big blow.
Should be back in a couple games, I guess. He's not expected to be long term.
Yeah, he'll miss tomorrow night's game. From what I read, they're hoping that he'll be back for the first game after the break.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Also in Columbus news, they traded for Marchment last night
Right.
Right.
I did see that.
from
Forgot about that.
Seattle. So they traded for Marchment last night. They got him. They sent over a 2nd round and a 4th round pick for him, and I think the upcoming draft. I'll have to double check, but I think it was the upcoming draft. So yeah, and then another one, and then another little trade before we get into the 2 big ones. Philip Deneau was traded back to the Habs for a 2nd round pick. I know Billard's a little excited over that. They got their 3rd line C, maybe 2nd line.
With that trade was what they did. They traded Jordan Harris for Line and the second, and then they took that second and gave it for Dano. So they turned Jordan Harris into the two guys.
And Hughes for class. He's been doing it. And Dano is not, he's struggling offensively. I think he's maybe got like 4 points in 30 something games this year, but he was really good in Montreal, good defensive 200-foot player. I think he's he's not gonna break any games, I don't think, but his defensive side of it will definitely help them. That's where they struggle the most, and they're really flashy and fast, but they neglect their own side of the puck, and
He's
think he'll
a
come in.
great role player for Montreal right now.
Absolutely. And he was a part of that 2021 club that went to the finals, and he's got rapport with the team. He's, as much as it shouldn't matter, it do a little bit matter that he's a francophone, and so he's a good fit. I wish they weren't paying his full salary, but they can afford it, so why not?
No, he's a familiar face, and he's exactly what they needed.
And when you put it like you said, you get Patrick Laine and Phil Danault for Jordan Harris. That's a pretty good return for your dollar.
Yeah.
And Zach, when do you get into the other big trades we got going there?
Yeah. So then we have Stuart Skinner. Nothing makes me happier. Don't get me wrong. I get it. He backstopped us to 2 Stanley Cup finals, but he's also a big factor in why we lost both of those Stanley Cup finals. He'll be missed. He was a loved person in Edmonton, being from Edmonton. He hasn't been anywhere else. So, going to Pittsburgh's a big thing. But also, you're also going from playing with Connor McDavid and Draisaitl to now playing with Malkin when he returns and Sidney Crosby. So, I mean, it kind of, you get to play on both sides of the generational talent, right? Crosby and Malkin ruled the NHL for the longest time. Now it's Leon and McDavid. So Stewart hopefully learns. He's had 2 bad games so far with Pittsburgh. One being his first game being with the Oilers. He did get lit up. I mean, that might have been 4 years of frustration.
Did you see the photo?
Undressed him. But
What photo is that?
Did you see the photo, the one where Draisaitl got his 1,000th point and all the boys
Yeah.
are celebrating right next to Stuart Skinner?
Yeah.
It's
he's just there cleaning his crease.
sad, man. I
The
felt
fact
bad
that
for
the boys
guy.
got 4 points each.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was definitely some frustration taken out that game. It was a bit tough to see. I like Skinner. He's a good guy. He's not a starter. He won't be that in Pittsburgh. Maybe one day he's still a young guy, but like I said,
he led you guys to 2 Stanley Cup finals, man. I disagree. He's not a starter. I think it's more of the position, man. Goalie's the hardest position to play in the NHL. And if you hit your head even a little bit, man, it fucks you up so much.
And I would have rathered the tandem of Jarry and Skinner than Jarry and Pickard, but at the same time, Pickard won't be there much longer either. They're targeting, by the looks of it, they're looking at Alex Lyons from Buffalo, depending on how long Jarry's going to be out. Ingram gets his start tonight with Edmonton against Vegas.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he's like. I mean, I seen the stat today, and Pickard has the worst save percentage in the NHL, and Ingram has the worst save percentage in the AHL. So
Best of luck, buddy. You're in a rough spot.
We'll see. Hopefully, Carter Hart isn't on his game tonight. But the biggest trade of them all, Quinn Hughes to the Minnesota Wild. In return, headlining that trade is Rossi and Bium, along with a first-round pick in this upcoming draft, non-protected, if I'm correct. A lot to give up for Quinn Hughes, but at the same time, when you're trading for most likely the second best defenseman in the league, you're going to pay for it. So far, he's panned out for Minnesota.
I'll say this: both teams have been llooking quite good since the trade. They're both on 4-game winning streaks.
They are, and I think once Vancouver gets Pettersson back, you'll see the team really, because I mean Pettersson has to step it up now, especially with Hughes being gone. So does Brock. You're gonna see those guys hopefully rise to the occasion a bit more.
Kiefer Sherwood had a hat trick the other night.
He did. Pettersson is has a better start to this year than he did last year. Like I said, it sucks with the injury he got, but no, Quinn Hughes is it's a good fit for Minnesota so far. And like you said, the guys that they got back in return to Vancouver, it's setting Vancouver up for their rebuild, right? Those are two massive pieces, along with a first-round draft pick this year. The way Minnesota's playing, I wouldn't say it will be a top 10 or even a top 15 pick, but still a first-round pick in this year's draft. So we'll see.
What do you think of the trade, Devin?
I love it. Both sides. You've got Vancouver getting a haul. You looked at the other offers that came out in terms of New Jersey or the other places. I mean, Billy looked at and I heard his interview. He called up Jim Rutherford and he goes, "What do you want?" And Jim said, "I want top tier defenseman. I want a current center. I want a first rounder kind of prospect, and I want a first round pick." And Bill's like, "Here, take all four." So, you know, tick both boxes. I love hearing Quinn Hughes interview about, showing some love for Billy, for him, as he said, sacking up and going for it. Like, players take notice of that. And
He does, yeah.
right, like you've got New Jersey. Quinn has, say, like a bit of rapport because his brothers play for that team. And I think deep down, maybe he was hoping that would encourage Tom Fitzgerald to go push those buttons. At the end, they didn't have the cap space to really make it work and kind of got beat out, but kudos to Billy for making that deal. And I love it for both. It was exactly what Minnie needed, and Vancouver got a huge haul.
Well, and that being said, too, I looked at the trade from New Jersey and what's his name, the young defenseman there, Nemec. He was part of it, but at the same time, like what New Jersey was looking to offer, Vancouver got better players out of Minnesota.
Yeah.
Right?
I like Rossi better than Mercer,
Yep.
and I like Bouillon. He's like Nemec, but he's better maybe already, and he's younger.
He'll be a top 4 defenseman.
He could be. Yep.
And
Yeah.
Minnesota already got Faber there, so they don't really
And
need
Faber's had a hell
another.
of a start with him there.
Yeah.
Man, he's an unreal defenseman. He's a top 20 defenseman in the NHL right now for sure, guaranteed. And he don't get as much kudos probably because he's out in Minnesota and we're not watching him every night, but he's playing 25 minutes a night and probably the toughest division in the league, would say
Far
right
the
now.
toughest division in the
Yeah.
league.
100%.
Yeah.
Top
And
3 teams
again,
in the
like,
league.
Yeah.
Garen looks at that and you got to beat at least one of those teams to make it to the Stanley Cup in being Colorado or Dallas. And, you got to do something. You got to make a big move. You're on the cusp, but you're not quite there. Rossi was out for a couple of weeks too. I have him in our league, and I guess they probably realized that they didn't quite miss him as much as they thought they might have. And when he's ready to
that's the
return,
thing.
now they shopped him off, and he is a great player too. And he had
is.
some early success in the league, but yeah, no, Quinn Hughes is hard to argue.
And everyone on that team has, since Hughes got there, has played better. Look at Tarasenko.
100%.
Lighting it up right now. I mean, you get that leadership in Hughes that maybe they didn't have. They have Zuccarello and stuff like that, but even he's played well since Hughes got there. No, I mean, it's good. What do you think there, Ryan?
Just them play. They played Edmonton yesterday, right? Was it Edmonton?
Yeah, yes, they did.
They looked fantastic. Looked marvelous. Great team put together.
No, they did.
The one thing I look at there now is I'm looking at their depth chart. So they got Ryan Hartman, top line center, Eriksson at second, and then Danila Yurov on third. I'd want to shift that. I'd want Hartman down third. I like Eriksson at either first or second line, but I feel like to solidify it, they need another top 6 center. And I'm curious. That's kind of what I look at now.
Dano would have fit that.
Yeah, so Billy went out and he got his guy, but I'm looking at he's got one more move to make, I think, and I'm curious where he goes. I've got a note. I got a couple guys, right? The obvious guys like Boone Jenner would be good. Ryan O'Reilly, I think he's perfect because he's got 2-year term to match up with Quinn. But the one I got highlighted is Ryan Strome. And obviously Anaheim's not looking to sell, but they got him coming back. And right now they've got him third line wing. And I think he's a really good top 6 forward. He just hasn't found his groove because you've got Carlson lighting it up top line and you got McTavish, who's a perfect second line center. So I think they kind of have him redundant. I'd like to see them clear him out, bring in someone who's more of a role player and kind of balance it out that way. So he's kind of my target, I think, for Minnesota. I think he'd be a really good fit.
I also like Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Rylan O'Reilly too.
He's a very underrated player.
He is. I wish he stuck around with the Leafs longer, but oh well.
Yeah, it didn't really work out. It didn't really work out for the Leafs, did it?
Leafs fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Foligno. Every move they've ever made.
Yeah. So Zach, getting into the team stuff. I got you down first. Let's get into Oilers talk. What do you got going on in the Oilers world?
Not a whole lot. Like I said, we made the big trade there for Jarry. Like I said, he started in 3 games. He played well in all 3 games. He had 3 wins. It sucks that he's out. Hopefully, we only got to get through to this game, and I think we have one more before the break on the 23rd or 22nd. So hopefully he can rest up this week and the holiday break and come back in the new year stronger. And then you got McDavid, obviously, crushing it. What was it? I think it's 25 or 20, 23 or 24 points in 8 games, the last 8 games. Leon Draisaitl, as Skinner said, he didn't want it to happen on him, but, Leon doing what he does, scored his 1,000th point against Stuart Skinner and Stuart Skinner's debut in Pittsburgh. And then, I'd like to see them go for another goaltender. I don't think Pickard or Ingram are backups. As I mentioned before, Ingram holds the worst save percentage in the AHL and Pickard is the worst in the NHL. So I'd like to see them, target another young goaltender that can learn from Jarry a bit. And that, to me, that perfect fit is Alex Lyons. I mean, right now his value has increased significantly with the run that Buffalo's on right now. But I do like to see them hopefully make a trade for another goaltender, and hopefully we can clear up some space. Maybe see, Nurse get moved out. I also wouldn't mind seeing Frederick, go. It will be with what we signed him for. I mean, he got the bag. 8 years is a fucking long contract at what, $3.5 million?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Oilers need to start selling. Like they do have quite a few picks. They got to start selling their picks. They need to win in the next 3 years with McDavid there. And if they don't, you won't see him resign. And I mean, even if they do win, he might not resign. And once they win a cup, if they do, he might say, "My job here is done. I did what I said I was going to do. I won a cup with the Oilers. Maybe time to move on." But I don't know. I think our sell time is like we gotta start selling off some people and start bringing in some better players that we need for depth. And we need defensemen. Nurse has been playing well defensively. Bouchard actually hasn't been playing too bad defensively either. Playing good enough that they gave him talk about for the Olympic roster, being the 8th player, 8th D-man.
He looked good yesterday. I was watching the power play, man. He was flying.
And he does. He runs a good power play in the back. But again, like I said, it's the debate is he a defenseman or is he a forward? But that being said, no, I want to see them do well, and we'll see what happens. That's it for Oilers news.
Well, I know you mentioned Lyon. Is there anyone else you think would be a good tandem with Jarry? One of the guys I'm looking at is Columbus. They've got Jet Greaves, $800K.
Him, but I also like Sebastian Cossa from Detroit.
Oh, I don't think they're going to give him. I think they like him.
No. I think he's probably Detroit's current future based off who they have right now. But he also hasn't had any time to play. And at what point, does he say, "Fuck this"? You're not playing me. Send me somewhere where I can, start to shine. It's kind of like a Zach Fucallen type situation, right? Like he was a hell of a goaltender in the juniors, in the World Juniors. He was a hell of a goaltender. The few games he played there a few years ago for Washington, he was good, but he never really had the opportunity to shine. And I feel like that's the same thing with Cossa right now. And I mean, it also helps that he's a Fort Mac boy as well. So,
and Yeah, right on. So going into other team news, Billard, I thought you were running away because I knew you knew your Habs talk was coming up. So what's going on in the Habs
Yeah,
world?
sorry, fellas. Not sure what happened there. Just like shut off, but here I am again. Yeah, the Habs, man, they're keeping me on my toes as always. You know, 1 minute I can't take my eyes off it, and the next minute I can't even look at it. But yeah, no, Jacob Fowler's there now. He's 4 games in, two really good games. Two, he played well. The team in front of him probably left him out to dry a little bit, but big shutout last night against Pittsburgh against your boy Stu. Got lit off, but yeah, no, the Habs, man. Like I said, he got a shutout last night, which I'm pumped about, even though it got Dev up beating me in fantasy. And
I really needed it, but they look good. Like Slav got that goal, that dish from
that was a
Caulfield.
beauty too.
That looked really
But
good.
yeah, and Dobish is getting a
Yeah.
start tonight.
And was it Beck?
Yeah, Owen Beck.
Was it Owen Beck got a
Owen
goal?
Beck. Yeah, he's a rookie. He got his first last night. He's after getting 3 first goals in the NHL. He had 2 goals called back so far this season, and yeah,
That's what I
he
thought.
finally buried last night. So yeah, kudos to him. What else we got?
Snipe too.
Yeah, Monty went to Laval for a little stint. He played 2 games. He played all right. 2 losses, but he posted over 900 save percentage. So I guess he got his strides in. He's back up with the big team. I think I heard Zach say earlier. And Dobish
Yeah, he is.
is getting to start tonight in the back-to-back against Pittsburgh. So we'll see. He had a pretty soft start to December, but his last 2 games he looked unreal. And he played 4-1 against Chicago and 4-1 against Edmonton, and both games posting 930 something save percentage. So like they said, 1 minute you're on the top of the world, and the next minute you're seeing every flaw. I think the Habs are, they're fun to watch. They cause me a lot of grief watching them from the TV, but they're very skilled. They pass the puck probably too much. You just like them to shoot it on that power play. But they're the youngest team in the league. Say it almost every episode. Few injuries made them even younger the past couple of weeks. So, sometimes those inexperiences show when you're playing against the best players in the world. But I don't know. They're making it fun to watch anyways, keeping it interesting. Can't be too good.
We said a few podcasts ago we were talking about their goaltending. I remember saying they need to address that gap from New Hook and Doc being out. Like that was just 2 big hits they took early. And they bring in Deneau for a second, and I think that patches up that gap. So really good move there. And they're kind of hitting their stride. The goalies are figuring out their game. And now you add in that depth piece, and I think you'll see them pick back
Yeah.
up again.
Not only that, but you got
I think that's a big ad.
their second line there with Kapanen, Demidov, and putting Slav back down there with those guys. And I seen in last night's game, a little blurb came up. They're the 5th youngest line in the NHL. They're with like Anaheim, Leo Carlson in them, and Macklin and Will Smith. But yeah, no, they're the Kapanen has been playing really well too, and obviously he's scoring more than we thought he was going to. But I don't know long term if he can keep that going. Now add a guy like Phil Deneau there as a shutdown third line with Jake Evans. I think they just got better for a defensive or a playoff push. So I still like to see another move in the making, or bring Laine back and he scores 25 power play goals. But it's fun. It could be a lot worse.
They need a bit more to compete for sure. You mentioned Kapanen as a little teaser. I got him for Finland.
Yeah,
I think he's having a year, but I'm looking at their depth right now. I would have to say they probably got my favorite 5-man unit for a power play.
Yeah.
You got Slavkovsky, Suzuki, Demidov, Caulfield, and Hudson. Like, not even saying they're the top, but my God, like you put that on for a 5-man unit, it's going to be electric.
Yeah, but yeah, what I was saying about the Habs, they said they're looking fun. That power play matchup is again elite, probably top five in the NHL right now for success. They're they're passing the puck too much though. Demidov, if he could just think about shooting the puck even 50% more, he'd be a much more effective player. But they're getting down there, they're making three passes, then they're making that fourth pass, the goalie's out, then they're making the fifth pass and it gets turned over. He might get away with those in the KHL, but in the NHL, he needs to be a bit more concise with the puck. And they're fast, they're quick, they're moving the puck around a lot, but I'd like to see him shoot a little bit more.
Young team, right? Like you say, it's going to take a bit of maturing, and that's what you're seeing with Demidov. He's got all the flash, but he's got to kind of figure it out for the NHL level on when to pick his spots and go. But they're one of the more entertaining teams to watch. Like them in San
Oh, for
Jose,
sure.
before
Yeah.
you'd be like, not happening. Now I kind of want to tune them in because you're going to see something.
And on that Montreal power play, I'd love to see Marty move Caulfield back up, start shooting the puck a bit more. He got him down playing below the net, below the goal line, kind of as a setup man. And I mean, I seen today he's got 19 assists, 18 goals and 19 assists this year. He's got like 10 assists, 4 goals and 10 assists in the last, I forget how many games, but he's passing the puck first. And I'd love to see him start just shooting. I thought he was going to be on a run for the Rocket, and now that pass first mentality is kind of gone off the rails. But it's hard to argue when he's playing well and putting up a point a game. It's been good, but that buffer down low and getting it to Slav that you were just saying, Dev, that was a beauty last night.
Yeah, that was unreal. So, like, who knows what's going to come for them? I think they need another move to be competitive, but like they're one of the teams. If you go around the league, if I could be like, who am I hitching my wagon to for the next 10 years? Like, there's so much upside. So it's you might not be competing yet, but you're right on the edge of it, and you're definitely excited to be a Habs fan right now.
Like the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Let's jump into that.
I'll let you take a run here, Ryan, and expand upon your misery.
Might as well turn on the dark and dim music here because fuck, there's not a lot of bright sides happening right now in fucking Leafland, baby. I got missing person posters posted around for Austin Matthews. Nobody fucking knows where the guy is.
He doesn't know where he is.
He doesn't know where he is, man. You got guys like Nathan McKinnon, Morgan Geeky, McDavid, Boldy with 28, 25, 22 goals. Robertson, 22 goals. Kaprizov, 22 goals. And the man who scored 69 goals a couple of years ago is sitting at 14.
Lane Hudson has more assists than Matthews has points.
John Tavares has 14 goals. He's
37
he's
years
tied for
old.
leading the Leafs. He's leading the Leafs in points, I'm pretty sure. Who do we got here?
Costs 9 or 10 million less.
Yeah, sorry. William Nylander's leading with 36, but Tavares got 31. Then Nyes. Then Morgan Riley. Riley and Matthews are tied. So that's saying something right now.
That is saying a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. Goalie controversies, coaches calling out the players. Berube just, ask those guys what's going on. I got no answers for you type thing comment. I don't know what's going on with Toronto, man. I don't know what the next step is. I don't know if they're going to blow it up. They should have won at some point in the past 5 years. They haven't done fuck all. And this year they look worse than they did last year.
Well, that's where I want to. Where do they go? Like, at what point do you stop firing your coach and your GM, and you start being, this so-called leader on this team isn't leading the team on or off the ice. He's not performing. Like, at what point do you say, okay, we're going to trade you and we're going to bring in a Hall, or we're going to get rid of Willie and bring in a Hall? But the only person that ever gets called out by the coach is Nylander. And I don't know if he's the only one that can take it on the team without being a whiny bitch about it. But at the same time, it's crazy to me where the Leafs went last year to, and in the last 5 years, to where they are now on the brick of not even a playoff spot. you lost to the last place team in the Nashville last night. It's you got to at some point. I mean, is it the coach? Maybe, but at what point, like I said, do you stop firing your coach and be like, "Okay, the players are the problem"?
And I'm with you. The players are the problem. The reason Berube calls out Nylander the most is exactly what you said. Every time he calls him out, he responds well and he doesn't bitch about it. He'll put up a goal and assist after the game when he gets called out, but the consistency is not there. And yeah, I don't know. Something's got to change.
Do you think it's a goaltending issue?
I don't think. Woll is a great goalie. There's nothing wrong with Woll. He's got some shit going on in the air, but he's still a decent goalie. Stolar's injury, there's no good news there. They said he's not progressing as well as he should be. They don't have any full answers, but the timeline is going to be longer by the looks of it. So Woll is going to be carrying a lot of the brunt going forward.
5 days ago on the 16th, Stolars went to see a specialist.
Yeah.
For a second opinion.
Yeah, that's not a he's close sign.
No, it's not. But do you think the Leafs would be in any better position if they had Stolars and Woll playing tandem?
No, I don't.
Do you?
Completely on it. I don't. Hildeby has came in and played well. I have nothing to say bad about Hildeby. He's actually played solid hockey when he was asked to come in. Woll isn't a bad goalie either. The two of them should with the people they have in front of them should be able to hold the fort down, but it's not happening in the front guys, the top guys. Austin Matthews should be 20 points further along than he is right now in the year. And yeah, I don't have any answers.
To me, the only person on your that's the thing. To me, the only person on your team that should be untouchable is Matthew Nyes.
I'd say Nyes and Nylander. I'd keep Nylander. His contract's too valuable.
Yeah.
But that's where you get the most for it. You're telling me if you could bring in a haul like Vancouver got for Hughes, you wouldn't trade him?
Potentially, but I'd rather get rid of Matthews, to be completely honest with you.
I'd say no, because you've got Willie on term. Like, by the time the Leafs are good again, Willie will still be there. But Hughes was going to be out in 2 years, and Vancouver's not going to be up to any kind of competitive level in 2 years.
I do think you start taking trade talks on Matthews, though.
Yep.
I'm
you got 3 years left, and at this rate, you just lost Marner for nothing. Like, I don't know if he's going to entertain it, but I'd be pushing him.
Yeah, who'd be his targets? You know, they're paying him a lot of money to not score goals. Who's going to want to take that on and hope that he revigorates his contract?
I could see, Anaheim taking a run at him with the cap space, send him off to Chicago, even LA. Where do you think Matthews can end up, Billard?
Yeah, I like the California connection, Anaheim, San Jose, Southern California. He'd
close to home.
Be back home. He's missing something in his game. Maybe that's it. But no, I don't think Toronto's it for him anymore, and they should cash in while he's still worth something, even though his stock might have gone down a little bit this year.
His stock decreased a little bit, but the player he can be, and maybe if he goes somewhere where he's happy. I'm assuming he's not happy in Toronto because his play speaks for itself. Just watching him back check, there's nothing there. It's just, I don't know what's going on. So, yeah. Cali, I'd say Arizona, but they're no longer, so.
Yeah.
If Arizona was still a team, they would 100% be the team he goes to.
Without a doubt.
They'll be back.
They should be back. I'd love to see it more of them.
Bettman wants it really bad.
Yeah.
So to save myself some tears of the woes of the Leafs, let's move on from this topic and jump into our plus and minus, everybody's favorite game show with 0 prizes. Brought to you by Benchminer Cards. Check out benchminercards.com. Use the code 5FOR5 to get yourself 10% off any order on the website and free shipping on orders over $100. All right, so first up for plus and minus, to continue on from our last episode's argument the boys had over who's the better player, does McDavid's hot streak continue? Plus or minus? I'm going to start it off. I'm going to say plus. When the Oilers get rolling, they roll, and they go from always being one of the worst teams in the NHL to being the best team in the NHL, and they're hitting their stride right now. I think he's going to continue. What about you, Zach?
I couldn't agree more. They're right on point to where they normally stride to perfection here. I think the trade with Jarry helped. So I think, McDavid, he has to continue the hot streak in order for them to continue to play the way they are and get to where they need to be. Same with Draisaitl. So I'll take the plus on that.
All right, where are you going to Billard?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the plus as well. Like you guys said, they start slow every year. They're starting to speed up. They're lighting up. The boys are absolutely on fire right now, and I can't see it. It's gonna slow down a little bit. They'll have a few ebbs and flows, but I think you're gonna see a lot more consistency out of McDavid to close out the year. They want to get back in the playoffs. They want to make another run. I don't know if Jarry's the guy to take them over that hump that they've been struggling to get over, but they gotta try. So they're getting everything out of their players right now. Even Bouchard is playing well. So yeah, I'll give him the plus.
And yourself, Devin?
Yeah, I kind of echo what Billard went with. For me too, he's not going to be getting what do you say, 24 points in 7-8 games, whatever that streak is. That won't continue. He's not going to do 3-4 points a game, but him putting up 1.5 per game, closer to 2, yeah, he's going to run hot. He's not going to run 4 points a game hot, but he's going to keep rolling.
All right. And prior to the show, we had this as a one-parter, but I broke it up into 2. So will McDavid win the Hart over McKinnon, plus or minus?
Go ahead,
for
Dev.
Devin. Start from backwards.
For me, minus. Well, so I think I had the Art Ross down, and I still go minus anyway, because I'm going to back my boy.
So yeah, there you go.
But either or, I just look, right, like even plus minus. You look at what McKinnon's doing. The Oilers are buzzing, but they're ripping it on the power play. McKinnon's getting it done even with a subpar Avalanche power play right now. So,
and a subpar Avalanche power play still has Cale Makar on the back end. So,
but like you laugh, but if you watch the Avs over the past 10, 20 games, like look at their percentage. They've had a lot of games where they put up a goose egg.
But it shouldn't be.
No. So
I wouldn't say
I'm not so much knocking the quality of the power play, but the results right now kind of speak for themselves. They haven't been great, and It's been a big sticking point for the Avs. So the fact they're dominating the league and not rocking the power play like the Oilers, like Dallas, that's kind of my optimism there is they've got another gear to find, and they're still humming the way they are.
Good insight.
If they were losing and not competing and not having any success on the power play, it would be one thing, but they're still absolutely tearing a strip off the league. So it's hard to complain about a subpar power play, as you put it, but it's probably a little worse than subpar, maybe even. But yeah, they're still winning, so it's all good yet. And yeah, I'm gonna probably go with the minus as well. I think it's McKinnon's to lose. McDavid has been on fire lately, so maybe I might eat those words, but I think it's going to go to McKinnon just because Colorado's team success as a whole as well, and they're on pace for a record season. So if that all pans out, I think McKinnon's going to get the Hart over McDavid.
That's a great short. I can't wait for Ryan to clip that one.
What are you saying, Zach?
Obviously, I'm going to take the plus. He's my guy. The Hart Trophy is, player that is most valuable to their team. I'm not saying Mac isn't, but Makar is also there. Same with Draisaitl. But at the end of the day, the team falls on McDavid to get it done, right? Right. I'm not saying it doesn't fall on Draisaitl as well, but at the end of the day, majority of this stuff comes down to McDavid to get the job done. And I think he's the most valuable to his team. And, with him putting up the points he's putting up, I just looked at the stat, and out of his last 8 games, 4 of them are 4 points plus 4 points games. Maybe he won't continue that pace. I think he'll still continue a pace of 2 points per game. He closed the gap significantly on McKinnon right now. I think he's 1 point behind McKinnon. When, 2-3 weeks ago, or a month ago, he was 15?
He's being laughed at in the points league for taking him first overall.
Who, McDavid?
Yeah, I was being laughed at. Like, I can't believe you gave me McKinnon.
Yeah, the boys are tied now, 59 points each.
Yeah, he's been helping
so he closed the gap in a month. right? And he's ranked first in our league. That's only because, like I said, he has 25 power play points compared to McKinnon's 14. But again, like I said, it comes down to the most valuable person to the team, and I think McDavid is more valuable to his team than McKinnon is.
I'm going to take the plus. I think once McDavid gets rolling, he keeps rolling. Might have a couple of ebbs and flows like Billard said, but in over the past 3-4 years, when the Oilers get going, they get going and they stay hot for the rest of the season most of the time. So I go with the plus. Moving on to our next question. Connor Bedard has been injured. How does that affect his chances of making Team Canada? So plus or minus, does Bedard still make Team Canada after the injury? Go for Zach.
I do. If he's healthy enough before, I think if he's healthy enough to make it to Italy, I think he'll be there. I think they're announcing their roster in 10 days from now on the 31st, on New Year's Eve. They're announcing their Olympic roster. And I do think you'll see Bedard's name on that team. So, yeah. Also for the fact that I don't think Jarvis is going to make it after a pretty brutal trip there the other night against Florida. By the looks of it, he might have broken every rib in his body. I don't know, but that was a pretty hard fall into the post. So yeah, I think Bedard makes it on December 31st.
Nice.
Billard?
Yeah, I think he's going to make the team. I don't know if he's going to make the opening night lineup, but I think he's going to be traveling with the team for sure. If he's healthy and able enough to, his injury seemed pretty harmless to us watching it on TV. I never did get the full scope. I assume he's got a bad shoulder. If he dislocated it, if he tore any muscles or any ligaments, it might be longer term, and he might not be 100% to play. But I think if he is 100% to play, he'll travel with the team and he'll be there. But I don't know. We'll see.
Devo?
I think he's taken actually because of the injury. And I need to look into exactly how that works. But my understanding is if they take him and he's still injured, they can sub him. So by taking him, it gives them more time to evaluate their roster. So I think actually taking him gives them a bit more flexibility down the road. I could be wrong on that. But for one, I think he's played well enough to earn a spot. If his injury is projected to be fine by the time it comes around, I think you take him and you take him as your spare, right? So he comes back and you got an injury down the road, you pop him on the line with Sid or whatever. So I think it's a good bit of flexibility around the injury.
You took my line of chat there, Devin. That's where I was going to go with it. But I would take him, 100%. He's played well enough to be on the team. And you bring him, if he's still not healthy when the time comes, you can sub him in or out and go from there. So, I'm a plus. Definitely put him on the team. All right, next one. Plus or minus, Suzuki over Matthews, all things considered, contracts included. Go for Billard.
Plus. Easy plus. Contrast considered, I mean, you can have two Suzukis for the price of one Austin Matthews, so that alone makes it a plus. Then you got, I seen a stat the other night, he's the third best offensive producer for a Canadian-born player since 2025 started. So, he's on fire, leads the team, does everything that you want in a player. So it's an easy plus for me. Big on the Nick Suzuki train here.
I will go out on a limb and I'll take the plus as well.
I love that. I love that from the Blue Room.
There's the snippet right there for social.
The way Matthews is playing right now and the way Suzuki's playing and the way you just said it, I love how you just put it. You can get two Suzukis for the price of one Matthews, and who wouldn't take that deal all day?
I mean, one Suzuki right now is worth one Matthews.
Agreed. So yeah, as of right now, as everything stands at this moment in time, I would give it the plus. Go for Zach.
100% plus. I think Suzuki is a hell of a player. I also think you'll see him on the Olympic roster on December 31st. I will be very shocked if he isn't. But I'll give him the plus. I mean, I'm not just saying because of the Leafs. Matthews, 69 goals, Matthews, be a different story.
100%.
But in the current state that Matthews and the Leafs are in right now, Suzuki 100% is the better player with the better contract.
You'll never see 69 goals Matthews again in
I
his
don't think
career.
No.
And I said that at the beginning of the season, you won't see. I think you'll be lucky if Matthews ever scores over 45.
And I fully agreed with you on that, didn't I?
You
If I
did.
recall. Yeah.
You did.
I don't
You
think I
did.
did.
Oh, you did now. Yeah, I'm plus too. And again, it comes down to the contract. Suzuki's 5 years times 7.85. Matthews is 3 years, 13.25, or something like that. You've got contract term, you've got AAV, and you've got age, all in Suzuki's favor. But the bottom line here is night in, night out, I'm seeing a more consistent product out of Suzuki than Matthews. So all around, yeah, plus for me.
All right. Last question. Goaltenders in Carolina. Does Bussy take the job from Kochekov, plus or minus? Go for Devin.
Big plus for Bussy. Yeah, I joke because obviously Ryan's got the Carolina tandem, and I picked up Bussy off waivers. In reality, no. I mean, honestly, truthfully, I give it a minus. If you watched the other night, it was Ottawa. It was Brady came in on a shootout. Kochekov came out with a big poke check, and Brady went flying into the boards and came out yapping. And without hesitation, Kochekov's right in his face. I haven't seen that fire out of him, and I loved it. And he's been playing pretty good the past few games. So I think eventually Bussy will kind of come down, and but I think it's more likely they become the new tandem. It's
Rangers.
Kochekov Bussy over Freddie, and like Bussy had a 11 game win streak snapped, but he had 38 saves out of 41 shots. Like he played phenomenal, and Florida just kind of stole one. But
I'm going to go out on an interim limb here, and I'm going to say Freddie Anderson is going to be a goalie that the Edmonton Oilers are going to be looking at.
there you go.
You stole my snippet. I was going to say that. I say by the trade deadline, Freddie Anderson might be wearing an Oilers jersey if they're serious about winning the cup, because the way Rod Brindamore works and the way that the Carolina team works as a whole, if they're not afraid to make moves, they're not afraid to make big splashes, and they play everybody. So yeah, I guess no one asked me, but I'm going to say minus to the question because I don't think Bossy's going to steal the starter. I think they'll be a pretty solid 1A, B, modern NHL. They'll both play pretty consistently. I don't know if one gets the start more than the other, or they'll just play the hot hand and go back and forth is more likely of a scenario. But right now, Bossy's the hot hand, so he's gonna get the start. I think Kochekov was in the net last night, if I'm not mistaken.
He was.
They blew the lead to Tampa,
Yep.
but blew my parlay. But it's neither here nor there.
But no, I'll take the minus as well. I agree with both Devin and Billard. I think they'll share the net, kind of like a situation in Minnesota right now. You play the hot hand. I know Gustafson's their number one goalie, like supposed to be their number one goalie in Minnesota, but the way Wallsted's played in previous games, I think you said, play the hot hand, play everyone. If it's 100% minus on that.
Yeah, I got to take the minus just for my situation in fantasy hockey. So I hope.
But I do like your take on Anderson being an Oiler. I wouldn't hate it.
So I never thought of him. I just pulled it up. I thought he was making around 4 or 5 mil. He's only 2.75. So they could retain half of that, and
if we can get Anderson for half,
Edmonton could make it work.
If we get Anderson for half that, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
Him and Jarry ride it out, see what happens.
Just alternate between who's injured.
Fuck off.
So speaking of injuries, we got a new.
Hold that though. Jarry is not an injury-prone person. If you look at it, I got to find the stat again. For a while there, I think it was last year or the year before, he suffered a massive injury, set him back. But before that, he was a pretty consistent goaltender. Like he's only had, I think, 1 or 2 major injuries, and I'm hoping this one's not one of them. If you want to call him an injury-prone goaltender, you can. I don't think he's Anderson or or anyone like that.
Only time will tell.
That
We
is
shall
true.
see. All right, but yeah, moving into Fantasy Corner with Devin. We're going to get into all things fantasy here, and I'll let Devin take it away, the new segment. Give it to him.
Yeah, we've got our 5 for Fighting League, which is how all of us met. And, we've been running that league now. It's a keeper league now, 3rd year, but we've had the league going 10 plus years. So we've got a lot of roots in our fantasy, a lot of trash talk. That's kind of been the inception of the pool or the pod. So we kind of wanted to dive in. I mean, I'll give props to Zach. We were chirping him all year. He's now up the 5th and trending higher. He's made a couple good deals. One got vetoed, but we'll get into that in a bit. We've got Ryan, who's currently in 8th. I'm curious to see you got that deal done today with Whitty. So you got
I
a little
made
bit
2
of size with
trades.
Trennan coming in. And
Yeah.
same thing, like, you had a couple woes, a horrible trade of Ottinger, and you're figuring out your goalies, but I think you'll be okay. We've got Billard. I'm curious to see where you're going to head because I think you're in the rebuild talk, but we'll see how that comes about. But one
Tell
thing I did
Nico.
want to bring up, and we'll dive into a bit more strategy after, but kind of where I came up with this is I was looking at our record book. I don't know if you guys have ever dived into that.
Until you brought it up, I never knew anything about it.
Yeah,
No, I
so if you
don't.
go
I'm
into
still
league
not
and
familiar.
yeah,
Neither
if
am
you go
I.
in the league, there's a record book tab and it kind of runs. So it'll be like what's good on the weekly or what's been going on this year. But I wrote down a couple because where we've had the league for so long as a head to head league. So I think it was last year. Yeah, in 2024, your boy Mark Simon, shout out North Korea. He had 7 shorthanded points in a week, which is an all time week high.
Nice.
Dad's got the face-off records for a week. Not surprising. 307 in a week,
In a week.
which
Jesus
is
Christ.
I didn't think anyone would hit 300.
I thought you were doing good
I've got
this
the
year.
most goal.
This week, Devin. You got 208 face-offs this week, and I thought that was a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I've hit 200 a couple times this year, but I don't see 300 in the cards. Last week I had 8 goalie wins. Their all-time for a week is 9. I had a hell of a week to take down Whitty. But this is a wild one, and he's not even in the pool anymore. But if you remember, I think he had Vasilevsky and Gustafson for a little while. So in the all-time save percentage for a week, he's got .989 with a goals against average of .33. So even if
Interesting.
he only played 3 games, he had 2 shutouts and a 1 goal.
Shout
So
out to Jimmy.
there were some pretty cool stats, but I wanted to kind of highlight them. Just kind of, as you said, like you guys have been doing it forever. You guys didn't know about the record book. I brought it up to Ryan and Dad. They had no clue. So it's kind of cool to dive into. I definitely recommend getting into it a little bit. There's some good little gems in there.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so I did like touching on the record book, but what I wanted to probe you guys with, where you've been doing it so long, do you guys have a specific fantasy strategy of like certain categories you target? For example, like you said, I've got this year, I'm like, okay, I'm going goalies and I'm going hits, face off, blocks, and pims. Offense, I can't touch. I just didn't have the guys. Is there anything, is that kind of your approach? How do you guys like target how you set up your roster?
Like you just said, that's how I won Champs League last year. My first 3 picks last year in that league, I used on goalies, and I took the best goalies in the league because for the 13 stats or goalie stats, and if with add in a shutout here and there, you get 5 of them. You're taking down everything, and you just need to take 2 or 3 other stats, and you're guaranteed to win every week. So I focused on goalies, hits, blocks, faceoffs, and I dominated most of the time last year. And even from that perspective, I look at taking 7 stats. So if I can dominate 7 stats, whether it be goals, assists, power play points, a couple of goalie stats, whatever, that's where it's at. I'm trying to focus on 7 stats and using the other ones with filler players to pick up some drops and stuff. But yeah, dominate 7 stats.
Yeah, and for context, in our league, we've got 14 total categories. So if you can hit the 7, likely you're going to take your matchup.
It's pretty classic banger league, but yeah, I follow a pretty similar strategy. I changed it a little bit this year. It's really not been not been working out for me, but the past couple of years, them goalie stats, man, when you got elite goalies and you're not playing the waiver wire goalie roulette, it's really nice. This year I've been
Especially this
struggling with
year.
that. Like Devin said, might have been yesterday or day before in the chat, I got 1.5 goalies, and that's about the extent of it too. So shout out to Logan Thompson for being my boy, but outside of that, I'm just playing that hot starter, that Casey DeSmith shutout, whatever it takes. But you know, if you're not getting those stats, you're probably going to lose. And my biggest thing this year, I never put an onus enough on the banger categories, which I've been getting smoked in every day. I'm doing all right offensively, but the banger categories, the PIMs, I'm not hitting those. And it's that added with the lack of goaltending, I'm finding myself on the outside looking in. Still coming for that 8th spot. I'm not fully bought into a full rebuild yet. I think that I can claw myself back with a couple right moves, but I'm off this week. I'm coming back to fantasy with a whole new light. I've been kind of slacking the past couple of weeks, but I'm not out yet, so don't count me out. And I'm coming for the top.
How about you, Zach?
No, I mean, it depends on the year, right? This year I'm going more for the player stats. Yeah, I got Hellebuck, trying to keep my goalie stats there. But if you look at my stats this week for goalies, I've had 8 goalie appearances and only 4 wins. So I mean, I'm not really focusing much on the goalies. More so, I'm having a hard time, finding guys for blocks or hits. So I'm always searching for those kind of guys. But those are also the kind of guys that you tend to drop when they only have blocks or hits, right? Even though you want to keep them in Champs League. I think I have, what's that guy there from Minnesota? Starts with a T.
Trennan.
Yeah, I got him in Champs League.
I just made a trade for him with Mark Whitty, and he's going to be a big boost to my team.
And so, yeah, he's averaging like 6 hits a game. So, no, I focus on then like faceoffs as well. Faceoffs is a big thing. It's always hard to find a center. So those are my big things.
Another one that I do week to week basis is try to maximize games played as well. That's a big one, especially with the hockey. Like I'm in a football league, so you're getting one position player per week, and that's all you get. Versus hockey, some teams have 4 games a week, other teams have 2 games a week. So I find leaving 2 spots, like with guys that are filler role kind of players that you can pick it up and drop on a regular basis, just to maximize your games played. Because if you're going up against a guy and you got 5 extra games on him that week, that's a massive advantage, just having a couple extra games in your pocket.
Yeah, and you notice, fellas, they kind of got their favorites that they shuffle through. I know I do. I look
I do
for
too.
certain guys, and I see, you know where they're to in their lineups. You know what they're capable of. If they got 4 games that week, one guy I really like this week is Couturier. He's not putting up a ton of points, but I've been getting killed in the faceoffs. I thought I was gonna take a good crack at it this week, and Dev was just smoking me. I was like, Couturier got 14 faceoffs, 18 faceoffs, and then I'm losing by 100 faceoffs a Dev total.
Yeah. Tough to try and take that category on this guy who's got nothing else to go for.
Yeah. Before you go, Zach, you want to do your 3 stars real quick?
Sure. Let's see here. My 3 stars are McDavid, hard to beat. 24 points, I think, in 8 games. Leon Draisaitl hitting his 1,000th point. He also has 20 points in 9 games. And then Celebrini, always going to be in your top 3, I think. He has 13 points in his last 6 games, 4 goals, 9 assists. So those are my 3 stars for the week.
Who you got?
Yeah, again, my first star is going to be McDavid. Second star, Leon. Can't stray too far from those two. My third star, going to go off the board a little bit with Brady Tkachuk. He had a long-term injury. He's back now. He's got 11 games played, 12 points in 11 games. See, last night they beat Chicago. He had 10 shots on goal in the game. So he's
Fantasy
far, and
beast.
Ottawa's playing well. They want to make the playoffs this year. So Brady's going to be my third star.
Sweet. All right, Devin, who you got?
Yeah, I had Alex Lyon down, but we chatted about him enough. I've got Matt Boldy. He's got 7 goals in the last 8 games played. Minnesota humming with Quinn Hughes. He's got to be thrilled. I got John Gibson, 7 wins in a row, 2 of them shutouts. He's really catalyzed
My
Detroit
boy.
standings. And then my third, I've got Mikko Rantanen for inducing 3 injuries, the most in the league the year. Because he got those 2 hits he got suspended for, and then he did Romanov, and then the other guy right after, and then the other I think last week he kind of threw a little elbow chicken wing at Kemper.
Okay.
So
Right on. And then for me, obviously I got McDavid. Guy's been ripping. 8 goals, 9 assists, 7 power play points in the last 2 weeks. I got Matt Boldy for number 2. Same stats Devin said. And for my third star, I'm going with Ottawa as well. I'm taking Tim Stützle. He got 5 goals, 8 assists, and 6 power play points in the past 2 weeks. And yeah, Ottawa's looking a little bit better since Brady Tkachuk came back. The guys are ripping. So yeah, I know we got to cut her short. Zach got to take off here. We're not cutting her short. This is the longest episode we've done yet. So we didn't have time to get into our Finland Olympic roster, but that's okay. Nobody fully cares about Finland anyways. We're all worried about Canada and US. Yeah, that's episode 6, everybody. Thanks for dropping by.
Have a good one, boys.
Yeah. Good to see you guys. Take care of yourselves. 5 for Fighting. Like, subscribe, all the fun stuff. Hit the buttons. Do your thing. We'll see you guys next time.
see
Have a good one,
everyone.
boys. Have a good holiday.
Happy holidays.
Yeah.
This is the 5 for Fighting podcast.
Fantasy hockey, breaking down the lines. Matchups, injuries, hot takes, and trades. No clickbait noise, no overplay clips. If there's an edge to find, we already checked.
Parlays, we got them for days.